What is happening, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for an advanced look at some collected editions coming out this week from Marvel Comics. Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, a huge thank you to David Gabriel and the fine folks at Marvel for sending us advanced copies of these graphic novels. These books are due out in the direct market on April 14th, and then a couple of weeks later in the book market. Now, today we're going to be kicking it off with this graphic novel size. As you can tell, it is smaller than your trade paperbacks. This is usually geared towards kids, but I find myself really enjoying some of these stories. And I'm actually going to talk about this one here. This is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, but also includes another miniseries in here. Here we have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad graphic novel. This is based on the Disney Kingdom's ride. So down in Disney World, and one that I've written a couple of times. What does this have to do with the ride? Actually, a little bit. So this is all written by Dennis Hopeless, at least the 5-issue miniseries of Big Thunder Mountain, and drawn by Ty Walker and Felix Ruiz. And then we also have the Enchanted Tiki Room. Now, Dennis Hopeless, he's the gentleman that had a run on X-Force. He did Spider-Woman for Marvel. And then the artist, Ty Walker, I think I remember seeing his work on Avengers Undercover, if I'm not mistaken. So it is the story. This all takes place in a western kind of town called Rainbow Ridge. And it is this young lady right here named Abigail that's coming to visit her father who owns these mines. And she's always had a fascination with them. She's always wanted to come and see how the mines work, how it is to ride a train. She's tired of being a lady, so she comes to visit her father. And of course, sadly, there's corruption, there's betrayal, there's thievery because there's bandits about. And there's also the mystery of this Big Thunder Mountain that some people swear could be cursed or haunted. So that's what this is about, and I had a lot of fun with this particular book. I never read this stuff, but I always try to read these books, and I couldn't put this one down. 5-issue miniseries. It's a lot of fun, and I really like the character of Abigail. She's spunky. She does not think before she acts. Kind of reminds me of my youngest daughter, so that's probably why I enjoyed her character more. It is predictable, I'm not going to lie, but it's also a lot of fun, and that's sometimes what I need in a story. Like I said, it does have a little bit to do with the ride, but it's definitely, you don't need to know anything about the Disney World ride to enjoy this particular story. I have no idea when this originally came out, but it is now collected here in graphic novel format, along with the Enchanted Tiki Room miniseries. We'll talk about that here in a second, but before we do that, all the extras are in the back here, collecting the layout of the land. I think this is all from the ride, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's character designs and variant covers too. So there we go, character designs by Ty Walker. And then you have, I think, yeah, right here, a couple of variant covers. So Tiki Room I had a different experience with because now this one I really couldn't get what's behind the name and the ride, because this is more like Fantasy Island, like a cursed fantasy island. All these people are vacationing here, and they all have their own set of problems. There's a talking tree that tells the story of what's going on. Some of the parrots talk. Yeah, not gonna lie, I didn't finish this one. I had a lot more fun with the first story. This could have gotten better. I just stopped at issue 2. But all 5 issues are collected in here. This is what the artwork looks like. Now, this one is written not by Dennis Hopeless, but by John Adams. He's the writer on this particular miniseries. And this is what the artwork looks like. Let's look in the back here for some extras. Here's Enchanted Tiki Room designs. They're the ones with the animatronic parrots. That's the ride that I remember. I don't even know if it's still around. The toy variants, I think, is what these are, by John Tyler Christopher. Interesting. And then there's the parrot variants. And then other variants. And then Figment, where you can also find another Disney Kingdom ride. This book retails for $15.99 and has 256 pages in it. Incredible Hercules, the Complete Collection, Volume 2. So glad to have seen this back on the catalog, and now it's actually printed. It's here. This is a very underrated series. This is all written by Greg Pak, but really Fred Van Lente is the shining star. Previously collected in a series of trade paperbacks, as well as standard size hardcovers. Look, they use the same cover. Actually, let's see. Look at the color differences. Not much of one. You get a little more of his feet here. Just a little bit, if you're into that. But yes, previously released in thin trades and standard size hardcovers. That is a cover by Ed McGuinness, yes, during the Dark Reign arc. But this is Incredible Hercules. Here you have the talents of Clayton Henry, you have Daytrek Smith, and then you also have, I think, Riley Brown. Yep. And we kick it off with issue 121, which is the aftermath of the Secret Invasion? Yeah, Secret Invasion. So that's what takes place before this particular complete collection. Now, there should be one more complete collection to wrap up the entire series, because sadly it was canceled after issue 141. But this collects Love and War, it collects the origin of Hercules, it collects Dark Reign, it collects the replacement Thor storyline, and then the secret origin of Amadeus Cho. And this is some of the artwork here by Clayton Henry towards the beginning. So they're taking a vacation, and of course he sees Namor, and then Namor comes along and starts fighting Hercules. That's really what this book was about. There's a lot of fights that happen here, but this book has a lot of heart to it too. And that balance is brought by Amadeus Cho, who is a character that first appeared in, what was it, Amazing Fantasy, and then he went through the pages of The Incredible Hulk. So this all takes place after World War Hulk. So Red Hulk started, and the title of The Incredible Hulk changed into The Incredible Hercules. So Hercules. Uncanny Omar talked pretty one day. So that's when all of this takes place. It was a very underrated series. I'm honestly surprised it lasted that long. And then, honestly, Hulk came back. Bruce Banner came back, and his own series started with The Incredible Hulk again. And they kept going with The Incredible Hercules because they had a lot of faith. A lot of people kept bringing it back. There were a lot of fans that petitioned to keep the series going. But I don't know which one my favorite story is to talk about here. But I guess I have to talk about the replacement Thor. Sorry, I'm going to stop waving my hands around so much. I know some people have asked me. They wanted to see more of the artwork. But sometimes I get a little overexcited and animated. And I can't help myself. So this particular book, by the way, is $44.99 and has 440 pages. Some beautiful artwork in here. Look at that. Man, would have loved to have seen more oversized hardcovers, because there was one oversized hardcover that came out, but sadly that was the only one. I guess it didn't sell well enough, or people just didn't realize how good the series was. By the way, this collects issues 121 to 137 of The Incredible Hercules. Look, Marvel Boy, I just talked about him this morning. He was part of the Dark Avengers. Let me show you why I like the replacement Thor so much. It's the story of Balder asking Hercules to play the role of Thor, to kind of become a peacekeeper between him and some dark elves, because the dark elves want to take over the realms. And once Hercules checks out what the queen looks like of the dark elves, he's like, yeah, I'll do it, let's do it. Now, there is a funny... I got to show you this amazing fight. Now, Hercules and Thor have fought many times in the past, but I don't think there's been a funnier fight between both of them than this one here. So yes, Thor shows up, Odin's son shows up, and he's dressed like Hercules, because somebody's got to play that role. That's an awesome cover. But the fight between them, and in between these, by the way, is the secret origin of Amadeus Cho. He's looking for his parents, or what happened to his family. So this fight right here between Odin's son and Hercules is so freaking awesome. There's so many dirty things that Hercules gives him, freaking titty twisters. That's awesome. That's how real men fight. And then, of course, Thor has enough, kicks him in the nads. Wolfman ain't got nards. Anyway, this is so awesome. I love this series. I hated to see it go. Like I said, we're going to need one more. Let's look at the extras here. Complete collection, because after this it goes all the way to issue 141, and then that's an ogre looking Wolverine, which we'll be talking about here in a little bit. There's Namor. That is beautiful, by Arthur Sudium, and known for his zombie covers. There's Ares by Ed McGuinness. But after issue 141, there were a couple of miniseries, and then there was also the Chaos War event that for some reason nobody acknowledged because it wasn't written by Bendis or Mark Miller, I think. But here's the extras. There's a couple of original pages. That is a beautiful cover there by Ed McGuinness to issue 125, uncolored page. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've read this, what you thought of the Incredible Hercules. Were you a fan like I was? X-Men Avengers Onslaught. I believe the next part of my reading order of X-Men takes us to Onslaught. Yeah, because I just finished up with Age of Apocalypse. Hopefully that video will come out sometime this week or next week. And they're pretty hefty. It's going to be like 8 parts. I'm trying to condense it down smaller than that. I think I was thinking maybe just not talking and just flipping pages and saying, this is what's collected in here. And speaking of what's collected in here, look at this Mike Del Tato, inked by Tom Palmer artwork. Badass. Final issue of the Avengers before it switches over to the Heroes Reborn era. So speaking of collecting, this collects Avengers 402, Punisher 11, Thor 502, Wolverine 105, X-Men, adjectiveless X-Men 56 and 57, and Annual 1996. Onslaught Marvel Universe. I think that book has been collected just about everywhere. Oh, I gotta talk about this issue here. The Epilogue, Cable 36, Uncanny X-Men 337, X-Men The Road to Onslaught, and then material from Fantastic Four 416. I love this issue. I know I wasn't the biggest fan of Onslaught. I always talk about how Onslaught is pretty much the reason I stopped reading comics, but I think, most of you that know me or have heard me talk about it, it's just I was outgrowing the genre. I was a senior in high school, getting ready to go to college, working at a comic book store still, but just was interested in other things. And you all know other things. Anybody that's been that age. Anyway, okay, so this is one of my favorite lines, though. Written by Tom DeFalco, his last issue of Fantastic Four before Heroes Reborn. But if we fail, humanity dies. Get ready to rumble, people. I don't care if it's cheesy. I love it. In the words of my dearest friend, it's clobbering time. And then the thing says, enough said. How badass is that? Oh, man. Yeah, the Onslaught event, whatever. So right now, Onslaught's pulling a Frieza, and he's got a second form. So there he is. He's even more powerful, Onslaught. And now he's fighting the entire Marvel Universe. Believe it or not, this is Adam Kubert, and he's being helped out by Joe Bennett. And Joe Bennett is the same guy that is drawing the Immortal Hulk. So, very cool that his art style has kind of evolved, or actually has evolved. But here's the fight with the heroes of the Marvel Universe, and what happens to them, how they end up going into the Heroes Reborn universe, well, you can find out for yourself. Why does Wolverine look like an ogre through these pages? Let me find the Wolverine with no nose. I think it's the 3rd issue collected in here. There we go. Written by Larry Hama. Well, let's just say that's all because of Wolverine 100. You can find out why. Then we have some annuals. Joe Mad. Oh my gosh. How old was he? Like 20 years old drawing Uncanny X-Men here during this time. That's crazy. We have the introduction of this mysterious character named Bastion. And why is Professor Xavier gone away? Why are they taking him away? I will say something really quick though. This was the final issue of any comic, American comics, for a long time that I picked up. This was the last issue I had at my pull list. So I remember being really, oh my gosh, I was such a freaking drama queen. Farewell to Xavier, and I was like, well, I guess it's time to say goodbye to my second family. If Xavier's going, I might as well go with him. I don't know. That's the way I was. But I came back. Look, now I'm back. Never going away again. YouTube channel and everything. Now explaining what happens after this through my reading orders. But anyway, this particular book retails for $39.99 and has a total of 432 pages. Let's look in the back here for some extras because this is the final volume of the Onslaught saga. So we have trade paperback covers, modernized colors, we have trading cards, and I mean modernized colors on old art for new trade paperbacks. I think that's the cover to the Epic Collection. And I think this is part of the Marvel Flare, or no, Marvel Onslaught. And that is it. And then, of course, the previous 2 volumes, Volume 2 right here, and Volume 1 here. But this wraps up the Onslaught saga in trade paperback format. Last, but certainly not least, is Namor the Submariner. Enter the Submariner, Volume 1. The very first Namor Epic Collection. This collects issues from 1962 to 1966, retails for $39.99. I believe that's the cover to Tales to Astonish 75 or 76. But here we go. You have your writers over here, Larry Lieber, Stan Lee, pencilers Jack Kirby, Gene Colan, Dick Ayers, and Wally Wood, Wallace Wood, of course. Respect. And then the table of contents, what all is collected in here. So there is, much like the Silver Surfer Epic Collection Volume 1, some double dipping. We have Fantastic Four issues 4, 6, 9, 14, 27, 33, as well as annual number 1 from that series. And then we get some stuff that hasn't been collected with Namor in it before, at least not in Epic Collection format, and that's the Strange Tales 107 and 125. And then he bounces back to Avengers issues 3 and 4. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Captain America. This is where he comes back, where Johnny Storm's like, wait, this homeless guy's about to get beat up, looks familiar. Let me use my powers and shave him. Oh my gosh, it's the Submariner, I knew it! And that's pretty much how this Golden Age character came back in the issue of Fantastic Four number 4. We have X-Men. Of course, it wasn't known as Uncanny back then, but just X-Men. Issue number 6 collected in here. One of my favorite issues of Daredevil, issue number 7, is in here. And then Tales to Astonish 70 through 76, which shows his solo adventures for the first time, where he's not misunderstood and fighting superheroes. Because most of these early appearances, he was just a misunderstood dude. He was fighting characters left and right. He had a fascination with Sue Storm. And that's pretty much how he was used. And then, through the pages of Fantastic Four, he does need their help when Atuma shows up. And he needs to help to restore his kingdom. Now, like I was saying, with the Avengers in this issue, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Captain America come back. Look, he's the one that broke the ice, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, there's a dude in there. It's Captain America. What? That guy's from the Golden Age, like Namor. Cool. Maybe other characters will return. So I thought that was really cool because he was such an obscure character from the Golden Age, and he had, he was part of the Invaders team. He fought in World War II, and then there were post-World War II. Man, what's up, Sue Storm? There was post-World War II stories of Namor by Bill Everett. So none of that is collected in here. This starts with the Silver Age stories. So the Golden Age stuff has not been collected in Epic format. It's only been available in omnibus editions as well as Marvel Masterworks. And I believe there's a Marvel Masterwork of Namor that this stuff has been previously collected in. But here we have another Strange Tales story. This is issue 125, where he fights Johnny Storm and the Thing. And then this is the one, I think, where, yes, they team up with Namor for the first time, saying, wait a minute, we have a common enemy. Let's, instead of doing a superhero fight out, let's just team up together. Now, this right here, oh, so good. This is Daredevil number 7. So, 2 things here. First thing to note is the talents of Wally Wood drawing this issue. Second thing to note is that this is the first appearance of the red outfit. This is the Daredevil that everybody knows. Before this, it was the yellow and red outfit, and Daredevil even says something along the lines, I think, in this, like, oh man, I've been working on this outfit secretly to help me have more movement. I hope it goes in handy to fight this guy that seems to be a pretty badass. But anyway, this is the first appearance of his red outfit, as well as Wally Wood drawing this issue. Now, let's get, to the Tales to Astonish part, because the Tales to Astonish part is pretty interesting. So we have this newcomer named Adam Austin. I've never heard of this guy, but his pencils are phenomenal. And one thing to note is that he's never credited at the beginning of the book, but his pencils grace about, I don't know, a fourth of the book, and his angles, the postures, is just amazing. The underwater fight scenes are great. All of it, of course, inked by Vince Colletta. Now, there's a reason why Adam Austin is not credited at the beginning, and that's because it's Gene Colan. Look at that. That's awesome, man. It's a great artwork here. So there is no Adam Austin. That was just a pen name he used because at the time Gene Colan was working for DC Comics and he really wanted to draw Namor. So he created the pen name Adam Austin. And legend has it that Adam, I think, was the name that his wife and him wanted to name their firstborn son if they had a son. But that's where the name came from. So this is Gene Colan. And it is gorgeous. This is different Gene Colan than the stuff that I remember seeing, like in the Tomb of Dracula comics. You know, I'm used to more of a horror feel to his books, and this is just all-out action and almost Conan Barbarian-like muscles on these characters. But this is absolutely gorgeous, and it's all a solo story for the first time. Well, outside of the Golden Age, in the Silver Age here, of Namor. For those wondering, by the way, this particular Epic Collection was printed at the Fry Communications printer. As far as the paper, though, it seems a little bit thicker than some of the other books that they've printed. I don't know if it's off and on with them or not, but let's look in the back here for some extras. There's a couple of house ads back there. There's also some original artwork here by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. And then, yeah, right here. This is Gene Colan. Original artwork. And then, okay, I was right. There is a Marvel Masterworks Volume 1. That's what the cover looks like. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in any of these books, you can check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and page count of each of these trades. Let me know in the comments down below which ones you're picking up. Are you one to get every single Epic collection? Are you just interested in Namor or the incredible Hercules complete collections? If you've never read it, I'm serious. It is so fun. Are you collecting X-Men in trade paperback format? And did you ever read any of the Disney Kingdom comics? Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. More importantly, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.